Welcome back, everybody. We're going to start a new series today, and we have looked at the forward roll, the forward reverse roll, the square roll. See the previous 25 or so videos to catch up on that if you don't know that. We're going to piggyback off the square roll, the solid roll as I called it, and we're going to start with some technical skills with the left hand here. There are three main left hand techniques that you have to learn to play bluegrass banjo. We have the slide, the pull off, and the hammer. The slide is basically just taking one note, plucking it once, and you get the second note from your finger here sliding into whatever fret you're going to. The song Cripple Creek that I just played starts with a 5-1 pinch with the finger here on the first string, second fret. The second note is actually that 5. You can barely hear it when you slide up. That's not the easiest slide in that song, and that's not the one I want to start you off with. Nothing wrong with starting there, but I'm going to go to the third string, second fret. You're going to curl your finger, get your finger right behind the fret, pluck the note with your thumb, third string, and slide up. Most of the problems I see with people starting off is when they slide, they mute the string. Like that. Push down, not too hard to where it's hurting your finger, but hard enough to where as you move your finger up, you maintain that pressure on the string so that when you get to the next fret, you still have enough energy pushing down there to let the string ring. Don't feel like you have to immediately after you pluck it, go up to it. Let it ring and then slide it up. Now, when we get to the musical part of it, there is actually a couple of different ways and speeds that you have to slide, whether you're playing a 16th or an 8th note, and we'll talk about that later. For right now, we just want to slide from fret 2 to fret 3 and hear that note ringing when you get to the third fret. You'll also see a 2 to 4 fret slide, second fret to fourth fret. Practice that. 2-3 is easier because you have less distance to cover. When you have to cover more distance, there's more chance that you either miss the fret or that your finger comes up initially. When you play the first riff in Cripple Creek, though, you want to use your ring finger. Why is that? Because it keeps you closer to the first position where you're going to have to go after you play that. Back to this C here. And if you've seen my previous videos, you know that we've worked on this partial C chord a lot of times. This is where all that work you've done up to now is going to pay off because you'll have a good idea of where these single string notes are and double string chords are. Back to the slide though. Take that ring finger, go from 2 to 5. Don't hit the pinch yet because the pinch may cover up some mistakes that you might be making as you're sliding. You want to hear just the first string getting up to that 5th fret. And again, pluck it, let it ring, and slide it up. Your thinner strings on the banjo are not going to give you a whole lot of sustain. Banjo is not known as a sustain instrument. It's more of an attack instrument in that you hear those first notes a lot louder than you hear the next one. Once you get this slide down, the next thing to do is to add it to that square roll, the solid roll that we've been working on the last few videos. 3, 2, 5, 1. So we're going to play the second fret of the third string, and we're going to slide, and then we're going to continue with the rest of the roll. 2, 5, 1. It's going to sound like this. When you can do it once, try it over and over again as an exercise. And you're playing a good portion of Cripple Creek when you do that exercise. That's a lot of the song there, is that repetitive 2-3 slide. And finishing off on the fourth string. Make sure that when you're getting to the third fret that you don't take your finger off too quickly. A lot of people feel like you have to let it go as soon as you hit the next note. And you can kind of hear a little mute, like a little cutting the note short there. If you have good technique and you're keeping that rounded curved finger, you can let that note ring over the second string, and that gives a nice pleasant dissonance even though it's a half step. We talked about a few videos ago how a half step apart, a B flat and a B, sounds kind of awful, but when you play it in sequence, it's kind of cool because you're going from an A note to a B flat note to a B note, so it's a nice bluesy touch there. I'm pulling my middle finger off that third fret about the time I get to the fifth string. Students often ask me, how long do you want to leave it on there? And any time in there between the fifth string and the first string, you can take it off because, as I said before, there's not much sustain. You get your sustain the first second of listening to it, and then it kind of dissipates a little bit. So if you need some direction on that, I'd say slide to, on the 5, you're playing with your thumb here, take your finger off. And then you're ready to do it again after you hit the first string open. It gives you time to slide, lift, set, and go. So there you have the slide. In our next video, I'm going to introduce the hammer. Hope to see you then. Good luck with it.